Hi friends, welcome back to the Saffron Box. I'm Yamini Sharma, and today in this video I'll be talking about the transit of Mars. This is a very interesting transit. Mars is going to be moving into the sign of Cancer on the 20th of October this year, 20th of October 2024, and it's going to be staying in the sign of Cancer for quite a few months. I'll be leaving the dates, when does it become retrograde, etc. I'll be leaving the dates in the description section. Right, so Mars is going to be in the sign of Cancer for a pretty long time, and when a planet like Mars moves into the sign of Cancer, that is, a planet moves into the sign of debilitation, it does have certain impact. And Mars, being the planet of action, being the planet of courage, of what we do finally, how do we act, right? So all this does impact us, and especially when this transit is going to be happening for a long time. It is not a regular transit. It's going to put a long-term impact on our lives, on the way we take our actions, on the way we behave. And again, depending on what kind of ascendant you have, what rising sign you are, it will give you results accordingly as well. And it will be more pronounced or more important to understand the result of transit Mars if you're already running Mars Mahadasha, or you have a Mars Antardasha, or Mars is an important planet for you, as in Mars is the ascendant ruler, or it rules over your moon sign, or if it is a very prominent Mars, you have many planets conjunct with Mars, then there are a lot of things which also get added on. But again, in this video I'll be talking about the basic impact which I see, which anyone can understand, not going into further detailing also of your chart, right? So Mars is a planet which is called the commander-in-chief, or the senapati of the royal cabinet. Sun being the king, Jupiter being the guru, Mars is the commander-in-chief. It takes orders and it takes actions. It executes the orders given by the king, right? Mars exalts in the sign of Capricorn, which is the Kalpurush 10th house, right? So it's a house of action. So Mars exalts there. So it the energy of Mars is very well contained. It is able to perform very well when it is in a earthy sign, when it has the stability of Earth to give actions, to act. But on the other side, when Mars comes into the sign of Cancer, Cancer is the sign of debilitation for Mars. Now see the kind of qualities which I explained about Mars, and then we have Cancer, which is a moon ruled sign, which is a watery sign, which is a sign of your motherland, your mother's love, your emotions, sentiments, all those things. So it's a very soft sign to begin with. And here we are talking about a warrior, we are talking about a soldier. So obviously Mars in this sign, in the sign of debilitation, is never comfortable. Mars is never comfortable in the watery signs. It may be its own sign of Scorpio also. Mars is never comfortable out there, because by nature it's a fiery planet, and it will never be comfortable in a watery sign, just to give a very basic explanation of the whole thing, right? So when we see Mars in debilitation, we also see a lot of impact, especially when it is going to be here in the sign of Cancer for a pretty long time. So I'll be explaining the impact which I have studied, which I can forecast on all the ascendants, all the rising signs, which will happen when Mars is under debilitation, right? So I'll begin with the rising sign of Aries, that is Mesh. If Aries is your ascendant or your rising sign, the sign rising in the first house of your horoscope, so I'm talking about you, that is Aries ascendant. So in your case, Mars is the ruler of your ascendant, of your first house also. So Mars is you as such, right here. And Mars comes to your fourth house. It comes to a Kendra, it comes to a to the fourth house of comfort, fourth house of, it's the Suksthan, but it comes under debilitation. So this could give you a lot of mental disturbance, right? So disturbance in your thought process or being unsettled, sometimes. In some people, if your moon is also under, some kind of affliction, if your dasha is also not going too well, and when Mars comes here under debilitation, this could be, this could give rise to a lot of sleeplessness, restlessness. You're not able to rest properly, though you are at home, but you're very uncomfortable, right? But now also remember that Mars is also the ruler of your 8th house, where Scorpio falls. So here, a lot of people who are maybe awaiting some kind of inheritance, or who are waiting some kind of insurance money, some windfall gains, these kind of things, these kind of events can also fructify during this point in time, during this transit of Mars. So whatever applies to you, you can see, you might also be losing your peace of mind because of inheritance matters, because of things which have come up suddenly, unexpectedly, and now you're just restless, you're not able to deal with it completely, right? So this is a period of a little discomfort for you. Apart from that, we also see, Mars being in the 4th house also talks about property matters. So this could also be, in some cases, a chance where you are upgrading property, where you are moving, some kind of relocation is happening for you, or you're doing some renovation around your house, you're dealing with some property matters, because of which you are in a sudden period of, you are in discomfort. So remember how, how we are in discomfort if some project is going on, or if there's some renovation, if there's some repair happening in the house in which we are living in. So there's a lot of noise, there are workers coming and going out. So understand the kind of disturbance, it is very disturbing. So those kind of disturbances can also come through. And for people who deal with, a lot of physical activity, like, you are into fitness, you are into, you are into transformation of your body, etc. This could be a wonderful chance also to work on your fitness levels, to work on your body as such. So remember, property issues, inheritance issues and all that, you've got to be careful. Now moving on to the next sign of Taurus. Now for Taurus, Mars is going to be in debilitation in your 3rd house. Mars is the Karka of the 3rd house also. 3rd house belongs to your siblings, belongs to your younger siblings, in fact, your neighborhood friends. It's the house of your courage. And it talks about how you initiate things, and Mars is anyways an initiator. It loves action, it wants to get up and get into action. So here in your case, Mars is the 7th lord as well as the 12th lord. So it has the ownership of a Marka house as well as a Trikbhav. And coming to the 3rd house, that too in the sign of Cancer, that is its Neech Rashi. So here you've got to be careful about how your actions are getting initiated. A lot of people may take very impulsive decisions during this time. So that is something which you need to be very careful about. So these could be impulsive actions regarding your siblings. This could be impulsive actions regarding some trips you want to make, travel plans you want to make. So for some, if your dasha is all right, this could really, work well for you. But for some people, it could be resulting in a lot of expenditure, right? So all these trips which you might be taking during this period after the 20th of October, when Mars is in the sign of Cancer under debilitation, may result in a lot of expenditure for you. A lot of to and fro, a lot of movement is also shown for the Taurus ascendant, for the Taurus rising. Just be very sure that you do not rake up old issues, or you do not take up fights with your younger siblings, arguments which are totally avoidable, because Mars here is going to be pricking you to speak up about maybe old issues, and all these issues can cause rifts between you and your younger siblings, your brothers especially, right? So that is something which you need to be careful about out here. With your spouse also, your communication has to be decent. You need to be thinking twice or thrice before raking up anything which may not matter for a long run. So for daily issues, daily mundane issues, sometimes you've just you've got to let it go rather than fighting over or making a mountain out of a molehill, right? Then moving on to the next ascendant of Gemini. If you're a Gemini ascendant, Mars is a malefic planet for you. It's the 6th lord, but it is also the 11th lord, and it is going to be transiting the sign of Cancer, that is a second house. Very important transit. The 11th lord is coming to the second house. Financially, materially, this could be a period of gain. This could be, you could actually gain up on something which was pending for a long time. Those of you who have some litigation matters stuck somewhere, this may be an eventful time. Mars is the 6th lord also, right? So litigation matters may come up to the forefront, which you've got to deal with. Money matters will come up. Remember, if you have any legal dispute within your family members, etc., this will also be handled very carefully. This could be a period of activity. You may see a lot of things happening, a lot of events happening in this direction during this period of time, right? This could also mean well for people who are competing to get something, like competing in a competitive exam to get through to get some job, or get a seat in some good educational institute, or you are competing for a tender, you are doing some business, you are competing for a tender, so wherever there's competition, this could be a period of material gain for you. Yeah, but do remember, your speech has to be all right. Your speech can produce enemies during this time. So if you can keep a check on how you're speaking within the family or with people outside, with your network, with your social circle, if you can keep it nice and decent, it will work very well for you. Then moving on to the next sign of Cancer. So Cancer, again, interesting sign. Mars is coming to your ascendant, coming to your first house, and that is where it debilitates. Mars is also the yoga karak for you, so not a very bad transit as such, but again depends what is the promise of your natal chart, what kind of dashas are you running right now. So for the Cancer ascendant, Mars being a yoga karak rules the 5th as well as the 10th house. That's why it's a yoga karak. This is a period of growth for some. For some people, this may be a period where your job description changes, right? So if your dasha is overall favorable, this could be a time where you get some promotion, or you get some hike, or there could be some positive changes in your job, in your work profile, in your career. But do remember, this also will be a period of lot of hard work, right? So whatever you get, your responsibilities are going to increase. Even if you're somebody who has not got a promotion or a hike, or you're not seeing any progression in your current job profile or in the kind of work which you do, whether you're working, whether you're employed or not, I mean, you could be somebody who's just at home, who's not employed with some organization also. Here also your the responsibilities, the tasks assigned to you will definitely increase. You'll see a lot of increase in workload. It could be because of children, it could be because of because you have to support your partner. So a lot of change and a lot of load of responsibilities is going to go up. So during this time, be ready for pull up your socks, be ready for a lot of hard work. Do not think of rewards right now. This is the time to get into action first, right? So the next few months are going to be a little challenging for you. Some of you may have bitten a lot more than they can chew also already, right? So this is going to be a challenging period, in terms of work, in terms of your overall responsibilities. Then moving on to the next sign of Leo. So for Leo, Mars is again a triangle lord. Mars is the lord of the ninth house. It rules over your Bhagya and it rules over your fourth house. Auspicious benefit planet for you, but it is going into debilitation in your 12th house, sign of Cancer. Not a good house. It is a trig bhav in the first place, and Mars is an auspicious planet for you. This could be a period of expenditure. Some of you may like to move out of their their hometown or their motherland and look at migration, look at foreign settlement, or there could be a lot of expenditure on foreign travels. Those of you who are looking at moving out, this could be a positive period for you. Things could work out in your favor. You could look at some kind of settlement coming through. If you're waiting for a PR or something coming through for you, this could be a positive period for you. If you're looking for moving out to study for education purpose, this may also again be a positive period for you, because there's a lot of expenditure also indicated out here, and there's obviously movement away from motherland. Do take care of your mother's health during this point in time, during these months while Mars is under debilitation, right? So for some of you, there could be a rise in medical expenditure. For some of you, this could be a time of moving away from the home. So you are, you've finished your school, finished your college, etc., and now you have to move out of your home, stay separately from your parents. So this is a period of a little, it has a separative effect. Mars coming into the 12th house. For some of the people who are engaged in spiritual activities, religious activities, etc., this could be a period of visiting ashrams, visiting holy places, getting into the company of holy people, listening to religious scriptures or spiritual books, getting isolated and introspecting or delving within yourself. So again, interesting times for the Leo ascendant also. Then comes the Virgo ascendant. If you are a Virgo rising or a Virgo ascendant, then Mars is a class 1 malefic. I always say this. Whenever I say Virgo, I always say this. Mars is a class 1 malefic for you because it is the 3rd house ruler. It is also the 8th house ruler. These are not very good houses. These are inauspicious houses for you. And Mars, being the ruler of these two, becomes malefic also for you, right? Being a Mercury's Lagna also. Mercury rules your Lagna and Mars automatically becomes a natural enemy also. So that is the reason why I say that Mars is a class 1 malefic for you. And it is going to be transiting in your 11th house. Those of you who are in the fields of insurance, research, oil and gas, mining, anything which is hidden, you're doing some investigation, or your work involves a lot of investigations, right? You could be into forensics, all these things which are hidden, which are below the surface and which are not shared openly with people. You could be into some kind of occult studies also. So here, this could be a period of gain. You could understand, you could benefit during this time. For other people, this could be a challenging time. So you've got to be careful with regards to how you're dealing with your siblings, number one. How you're dealing with your in-laws. So these are two very, important relationships. Your siblings, your in-laws. There could be, a lot of impulsive behavior which comes from either side. It could come from their side as well. Siblings or in-laws could also be a point of worry, or could cause some trouble to you, knowingly or unknowingly, and that is something which you'll have to guard against. So a time to be careful in terms of how you're behaving, how you're communicating with people, and if there is something which does not need fixing, don't go there, right? As they say, don't fix something till it's broken. So if there's some underlying issue which is not in your favor, which is not working well for you, let it lie for some time. Let this energy go. Let this energy carry on, rather than picking out old fights or old memories and then getting into an uncomfortable state of mind, right? So that is something which I would definitely advise the Virgo ascendant. Otherwise, if you are somebody who's thinking of some new idea, you are creative, you want to indulge in something creative, learning something creative with your hands, or you like to write or paint, this is a very good time. You can learn, you can put in a lot of efforts and fulfill all these desires. So it is better to indulge, or direct your energy, channelize your energies towards doing creative things which work creatively for you, or which work positively for you. Then moving on to the next ascendant of Libra. So if you're a Libra ascendant, Mars is your second and your seventh ruler marker for you, and it is going to be in the sign of debilitation, that is Cancer. That is your 10th house, again a very important house, and Mars comes under debilitation over here. It's the house of your karma, the karma sthan, your profession, whatever you may call it. After the ascendant, the 10th house is a very important house, right? And here the marker comes under debilitation in the sign of Cancer. So your profession, your workplace may be a very active place during this time. So you may see a lot of volatile energy at workplace, sometimes not getting along with your higher ups, getting irritated. All these things can come up. This is the time to really hold on to whatever you have. Don't spoil your reputation, or don't spoil things which are already working for you just because you are irritated, or just because you're not able to handle the work relationships, because these kind of pressures will keep coming to you. For some people, this may also be a period of increased stress. So you may be lacking people in your team. They could be you could be a little overworked, overstressed also, and this could put in strain at workplace. You could get a little irritated yourself. So these kind of things are quite possible, right? So that is something which you'll have to manage properly, and it is better to remain quiet at workplace rather than get into verbal fights or any kind of open disagreement with your higher ups. So the very important thing which you have to understand is that during this time, do not get into any disagreements or any conflicts, any arguments with your higher ups or people at work generally, right, which may not work in your favor. This is for the people who are employed, right? Those of you who are doing their own work may also find this a very busy period. So you strive hard to make your partner come along with you, right? Or make people get along with you, make people understand what you visualize, how you want to go with things in the future. So this is a period of convincing and convincing others, speaking softly rather than getting irritated, right? So there's going to be a lot of mental activity. Lot of you will also get into new investments, new ways of growing your money. So be a little careful. Whatever you do, trade very cautiously, right? Then moving on to the next ascendant of Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio ascendant, Mars is your ruler. Mars rules Scorpio, and it is going to be in the sign of debilitation in the 9th house, in the sign of Cancer. So Mars is the ruler of the 1st as well as the 6th house and comes into debilitation in the 9th. So here there are high chances that you get into first of all, travel chances do increase, right? So moving out, traveling. For some of you, if your dasha is also not right, this could be uncomfortable travel as well, right? It could be travel because of work, frequent travels also because you don't want to, but you have to stay away from home, right? And then this also could mean that you have to, a lot of you may also start preparing for some kind of competitive exams which might be coming up in the near future, no? So from this time, October till next year, all this time when Mars is going to be under debilitation, this could be the thought process. So you may start preparing any time. It may not be October, it may be December, right? So getting into some kind of competitiveness, some kind of competitive exams, etc., could be a common theme for people who are in that age bracket, right? Also, this could be a phase where you get into disagreements, or where you are not able to get along with your father, or with elders in the house, with your teachers, etc. Sometimes I've also seen that during this time period, even school children are not able to get through with their tutors, with their teachers. The teachers complain about the children, or if they have private tutors, etc. This is the time when they switch over from one tutor to the other, or the teacher changes. These kind of things also I've seen happening whenever Mars comes under debilitation for the Scorpio ascendant in the ninth house, right? So some conflict with the teachers, with the superiors, with your gurus, these kind of things also are very common. So you need to be a little need to keep your eyes open towards that side as well. So make sure you are not making any mistake, you are not being disrespectful, right? So that is something which I see for the Scorpio ascendant. Then moving on to the next sign of Sagittarius. So for Sagittarius, Mars is the fifth lord, and it is going to be in the 8th house in the sign of Cancer, that is the debilitation or the Neecha Rashi. Mars also rules over the 12th house, which is again a Trik Bhava. So here a lot of people who are into occult, who are into research, or you work with complex subjects like psychology, forensics, a lot of subjects which or you are into some kind of R&D. This could be a very interesting time. You are able to focus your mental energy towards going deep into whatever you are studying, so you will find more focus here. 8th house, Mars being in the 8th house, could bring in more focus to you, or make you put in your energy towards the 8th house matters. But this could also mean a lot of if you're not doing so, if you're not channelizing your mental energy properly, it could also mean a lot of traveling or wandering around, or trying to do too many things at one point in time, and not it's like trying to be jack of all trades and not being able to master anything as such, right? So that also could be a problem here. For those of you who are working with electricity, or who are in the habit of driving fast, etc., you need to be careful, right? So there could be a danger from shock from electrical appliances, or some kind of cuts and injuries, etc., could also be possible. So you need to be careful there with your physical health, with your physical body also, right? So moving on now to the next ascendant of Capricorn. If you are a Capricorn ascendant, Mars is the 11th as well as the 4th lord, 4th and the 11th ruler for you, and it is coming to the 7th house, the house of relationships, Kendra house, very important house for you. Mars is going to come under debilitation over there. Now here it is very important to understand that Mars is going to be under debilitation in the 7th house. 7th house of relationships, of your marriage, of your partnerships, of how you make contracts, how you commit yourself to other people, right? So that is something which you need to be focusing your energy on and being careful also, right? So here you could be a little short tempered, or you could take up a lot of you could feel very greedy or very ambitious about your gains, and then immediately get into some contracts, or get into some kind of agreement or a partnership. It could be a new business, it could be any deal which you sign up and which you are not able to keep up, right? So be very careful, be very cautious about how you're signing, what kind of contracts are you making, what kind of a relationship, whether it is a business or a professional relationship you're getting into. And don't bite too much, don't take more than what you can manage, right? And you also need to be careful regarding your marital relationship. So how you're handling your spouse. It is not advisable to be short tempered, because this time when Mars is debilitated in the 7th house, you could get a similar reaction from your spouse also, which may lead to conflicts later, right? And as I said in the beginning, Mars is going to be here in the sign of Cancer for a pretty long time. So this is a long time where things can shape up, or things can shape up badly also. And especially if you do not have a very good marriage going on, if you're going through a rocky patch in your marriage, in your partnerships, etc., time to be extremely cautious, right? So be careful there. A lot of people may go ahead and make new deals regarding property also, but again, as I said, do everything but read the fine print properly. Then moving on to the next ascendant of Aquarius. So if you are an Aquarius ascendant, Mars is your 3rd and your 10th house ruler. Rules both the Upchaya Bhavas, the growth houses, and it is coming under debilitation in the 6th house. Increase in efforts is the first thing which comes to my mind. Increase in efforts, increase in the hard work, the sweat and blood which you are burning out, which you're putting out towards your goals, right? So it's a good thing. I see it as a good placement of having the Upchaya Bhav ruler in a Upchaya Bhav. So this is a time to push the throttle, go all out for whatever you want to achieve. Be very competitive. So if you are somebody who's into sports or who's competing on a regular basis, or you're a student writing competitive exams, preparing for the same, this is a very good time to go all out and put your energy in competing. If you are dealing with any conflict, legal conflict, or if you are dealing with any health issue, medical problems, again, this is a time to go all out to resolve it, go all out to work towards winning over your opponents, right? And if your dasha is favoring you, this could be a wonderful time for you as well. Then the last ascendant of Pisces. So if you're a Pisces ascendant, Mars is going to be in debilitation in the 5th house of Cancer for you, and it is the ruler of the 2nd as well as the 9th house, right? The first thing which comes to my mind when it comes to the 5th house, you've got to be careful, especially if you are expecting right now, you're about to deliver in the coming few months. Take extra care of your health. If you are somebody who is into a lot of creative work, this could be a very good time for you. You can put in a lot of energy into your creative work. I also see it as one of the triangle lords coming to the other, right? So Mars is the ruler of one triangle house, that is the 9th house. It is coming to the 5th house, so it is not so bad for you, right? So learning something new, educating yourself towards what you want to learn, overall uplifting yourself as a person, getting into following the path of dharma, being more righteous. All these things can be easily done when Mars is there in the 5th house, being the 9th ruler, right? So important and a good time for you, time to put in your energies towards positivity, towards righteousness. This is also a good time to put in your energy towards your children, right? So those of you who are expecting, they have to be careful. But if you have children, this will be a time where you'll have to be more involved towards your children. Rather than spending money, spend more time and understand them better, associate with them better, take out more time. And anyways, children will take out time out of you. They will draw your attention during this time, right? So overall, I have explained about the kind of effects which I see of the Mars transit in Cancer. This was a very short video. I have just highlighted some major points. Apart from that, I do keep uploading the monthly predictions also, which you can go and see. And I'll see you very soon. Till we meet next. God bless you. Bye-bye.